Football is back, and BetOnline is your number one information source for all your sports wagering info with all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchup breakdowns. Hey, everybody, it's Lloyd Spence, and listen, get the latest game odds, spreads, and totals from the NFL and college football at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on statistics, news, and odds. From week 1 all the way to the college football playoff and Super Bowl, BetOnline gives you access to the best football promotions and contests available anywhere online. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. And remember to use our promo code BLEAV, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. It's BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Popcorn World. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world with the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
You're now listening to BLEAV in the ACC with Heisman Trophy winner and Florida State legend, Mr. Charlie Ward, Wave 3 TV, and Fern Creek Hall of Famer, Kendrick Haskins, and Mr. Talking Noise himself, and of course, Mama Noise's name, Lloyd Spence. And now, it's time for BLEAV in the ACC.
We are going to have some fun this morning because that's what we do on BLEAV in the ACC. We have a ball right from the start. We don't mess around. We get right into it. Even in our saddest moments, we're able to muster up the strength to enjoy ourselves.
Why so sad?
Well, let me just tell you.
Why
One of my closest and dearest friends got beat up really bad on it was hard to watch.
It depends on your perspective.
You like seeing people get beat up, Kendrick?
When they have it coming.
First of all,
sometimes you need that medicine.
Hold on, Kendrick. I don't think anybody had that coming. I think,
they had that.
Maybe a little attitude adjustment, maybe.
But for them, Dallas proved the point that you paid the wrong person.
Touche. Listen, it's taking y'all 3 years to get me on board with the guy. Now all of a sudden we paid the wrong guy.
I love it. I love Daniel Jones. I hope he has a lifetime contract, Brother John.
Oh my goodness, we definitely need to get away from this subject as quick as possible. So listen, that's Kendrick Haskins. If you haven't noticed, by the way, who is a host extraordinaire. I've been vacillating back and forth all morning, thinking I probably should humble flex you because you out here hosting Hall of Fames.
Why is that a humble flex if somebody asked me to do
Because
something?
you out here, I'm not hosting Hall of Fames.
Well,
let me ask Coach Junior when he gets in here in just a second. Is he, Coach? Are you hosting Hall of Fames?
He's in them.
No.
Well, yeah, but being in them and hosting them 2 years in a row seems very different. So I don't know. I'm gonna let Coach decide on this one. If he thinks this is a humble flex, I might have to give you the buck, bro.
I don't know if I can
No,
go.
that's not
He's letting,
a humble flex.
he's letting you off the hook. See,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
really, that's just a lot of Giants bitterness, and we just gonna move on.
Miracles come in the morning.
Early in the morning, he rose to the miracle. Listen, we got to jump right in. We got a quick show today. To me, Lloyd, there seems to be, after only 2 weeks of football, that we might be seeing an actual changing of the guards. Like, all of the conferences seem to be turning themselves over, and what we thought is no longer that. And here's the biggest irony. I know we're going to talk about ACC here in just a minute, go game for game. But here's the biggest irony. I've been laughing about this all weekend. The Pac-12 is having one of the greatest seasons in the history of the conference. Do you realize right now, collectively, as a conference, they have 4 losses? 4. They have at least 5, possibly more, legitimate Heisman candidates. And at least possibly 2 to 3 legitimate national championship contenders. And it'll be over by January 9th.
Right.
Unbelievable. This is amazing to me.
I mean, between the Pac-12 and the way the ACC has been dominating the SEC so far this year. I mean,
they were next. The ACC is next.
This has been the surprises of the season so far. That and Dion.
How about the ACC started with 3 teams in the top, the AP rankings or whatever, and now all of a sudden you got like 4 teams, almost 5 teams with a couple that are trending in the right direction,
and led by one team who's one of us on this panel thinks is flying under the radar, but probably the number 1 team in the country.
Listen, we're not gonna keep talking flying under nothing. That's over. That is over. Charlie, you shouldn't even bring that up no more. Florida State looks so good. Goodness gracious.
Hey, they're trending, like you
No,
said.
they're not. No, they're not.
Yes, they're trending.
They're number 3 in the country.
Yes, and they're trending. You got too much spots to get to, and we just need to continue to, stay where we are, continue to play good football, so that we can get to those next 2 spots. But this is second week. This is the second week of the season for us, anyway. Yeah. Going into the 3rd week, so I think this is all premature. It'd be interesting to see, not casting this, especially on my school.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see who comes out. At the end, like in November, who's fell off.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we have this, where you're able to put together, a few good weeks, and then all of a sudden you get an injury here, or whatever the case may be, or you lose a couple of games. Let's just take Florida State, for instance. Even last year, we started out 4-0, and then we lose 3 games. And then everyone's like, "Oh, well, what's going on?" And then we ended up, running the table the rest of the season to get to 10 wins. So it'll be interesting to see if we can, not just us, but the teams that are in the top, if they can maintain over the course of, their stretch of, first 6 weeks.
Well, I tell you what, some teams are definitely coming out the gate firing on all cylinders. And I don't know, last Thursday, it started with a Louisville team who, goodness gracious, what a difference a week makes. Like,
an opponent.
And, well, the opponent helped. Let me tell you, this opponent was not prepared for this. Well, maybe they were, because maybe they understood, hey, we're a warm-up game for somebody else. And
I will give credit, though, to the Murray State quarterback, because he was able to elude a lot of pressure and
He
get
wasn't
out.
he
He just
wasn't
didn't
as
have
bad
any.
as the totality of his team.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't have anybody to throw it to,
Right.
but he could get away.
Right. He was actually not bad. So I feel like Murray State, there's some elements they can walk away from that game and go, we're trending in the right direction. There's some things that are maybe going the right way. It's hard to say after a 56-0 loss, but listen. But the two people that impressed me clearly were Jawar Jordan and Jamari Thrash. My goodness, those two.
Those
Give them
two
the
are.
ball in space and let them go.
Yeah, they've got speed that just jumps out at you when you see them on the screen. They've got that speed that just looks different.
Yeah.
Then you throw in. U of L played 9 quarterbacks in that game, which I didn't know that they.
No, they kept rolling them out.
9 quarterbacks on the roster.
And let me just say this: the most insulting part of the game to me was when at the end of the game the quarterbacks were all on the sideline having a meeting about the game. They all just sit there with smiles on their faces, going, "That was fun. This was fun. We should do this again." You can't do that. Don't do that. That was rude. So anyway, but great game by Louisville, taking care of business. This one was about what you thought it was, although I think there's still a lot of question about Wake Forest. They won, but do we really know what Wake Forest is yet?
I mean, that's a good
quarterback
win
is
for
solid.
Mm-hmm.
They look solid to you, Charlie?
The quarterback. I mean, he has some potential to within their offense and what they do.
Mitch Griffin's 196 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, what they're asking him to do, I mean, that's good. They're not going to ask him to, be Sam Hartman, where they feel comfortable with him throwing the football a lot and making decisions the way they allow him to do. But within what they're doing, they're good, and I thought they were productive, especially after the lightning and all the stuff that went on. The delay they had,
Right.
Both teams had to come back and be ready to play, and Wake Forest was able to do it.
This weather on the East Coast last Saturday was crazy.
A little rough.
It
was
beautiful. It was beautiful here.
Speaking of Sam Hartman, do you guys believe yet?
But they have a tough stretch, which will help define, where they are.
So I'm going to take that as a note, Charlie.
Yeah, I believe in where they are, but like I said, they have some tough games coming up, which they could lose.
Yeah,
but they also could win them, which will help strengthen their case for going higher. But Vince, I don't see them with any weaknesses as of right now, because North Carolina State, as we know, they aren't the North Carolina State that we're accustomed to seeing the past few years.
Shout out to Brennan Armstrong, coach of Virginia Tech. The player. North Carolina State. It's hard to keep up with it when they're moving around like musical chairs.
Yeah, but he's not playing that. I don't think he's playing really well.
He's not playing well, but they knew that.
He didn't play well last year either.
I was going to say, the irony of them bringing in Brennan Armstrong was like, you played Brennan Armstrong. What makes you think that he's going to be better in your system than the one he was in? Like,
maybe they just thought he fit their system better.
No, that's not how it works. I don't think. Shout out to Jeffrey Sims too, by the way, who's still giving gifts of turnovers to teams.
He was Josh Allen.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that here in just a minute. But ooh, man. Okay, Purdue messed up all of our predictions, and or did they? I think we might have predicted.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I know mine.
I'm pretty sure I went Virginia Tech too.
Virginia Tech.
I'm pretty sure I went Virginia Tech. I think because they were at home.
Yeah. You would think Virginia Tech would have pulled this off, but no, Purdue kind of took care of business. Grant Wells had a rough day as well. 243
Can we count on him?
Passing. Huh?
Can we count on him?
Oh man, Charlie. Much like CeCe Winans singing with Whitney Houston, I'm here because that's my friend, but we don't have the same lifestyle. I think he is who he is, and this is probably who he's going to be all season. Because I don't think Purdue is great.
No,
and
Purdue lost a lot from last year.
They lost a lot from last year, and so if you can't do this against Purdue, the road ain't going to get easier. So I think I'm going to have to side with you on this one, Charlie. I think he may not be the movie star that they predicted he might be. So
at least this year. I mean, I said at least this year. I mean,
not this year. It's gonna take him a little more time, I think.
Yeah, really, it's just consistency.
Yeah,
because you see flashes. But
it's there. It's just gonna take some time to put it together.
Yeah,
and maybe a few more extra players that they need or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. This game scared me.
It scared all three of us.
This game scared me because remember before the game we were all saying, well, maybe we should pick Holy Cross. and late in the game, I was thinking, man, maybe we should have picked Holy Cross. Because this look like it's going in the right direction. And boy, Holy Cross almost pulled that thing out, boy.
Holy Cross?
Holy Cross was giving it to Boston College everything they could handle. It was only because of a fumble recovery at the end of the game. Holy Cross was going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they got that fumble recovery at the end of the game that secured it. But boy, for 4 quarters in about 13 minutes, you were just like, woo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is bad.
Come on, Boston College. They're at the bottom.
They are at the bottom.
Of a lot of things statistically.
Yeah, it was not the best game. I was very concerned. Now Virginia, I mean, I don't know what to say.
They're still dealing with a lot.
They're still dealing with a lot, man. And I thought they were gonna get that win. They played well enough to win. They put up enough points to win. It just.
But James Madison is one of those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got ugly at the end. Yeah. And
I thought the freshman quarterback played well.
He did. He actually wasn't bad. Calandria, I'm still getting familiar with some of these names, but Anthony Calandria, 20 of 26, 377 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a good day. And again, for 55 minutes and 5 seconds, 59 minutes and 5 seconds, they played great. They played well enough to win. It's just that last 55 seconds is when they lost the game. So James Madison hits them with the last second touchdown. It was 55 seconds left to go on the clock, and unfortunately, the Virginia fans go away with great sadness. So, Georgia Tech back on track. Big day for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we all got that. I'm sure we all got that one right.
Yeah, this one wasn't difficult. But I think I'm starting to like Haynes King.
Yeah.
Because even in losses, he's playing great. Like, he's consistent.
I mean, he played really well against Louisville in that second quarter.
He did. He did. I'm starting to like that kid. I think he's all right. Clemson, are they back? Have they righted all the wrongs? Is everything?
Well, I mean,
not in that first half.
Yeah, they struggled.
The first half was ugly.
But they caught fire second half. Still, Klubnik, of course, is going to be the challenge. What?
4 losses. I told y'all 4 losses are coming.
4?
4.
I don't know about that. But,
4.
So you predict they're gonna lose to Notre Dame, Clemson.
Yep.
Who's the other one?
Florida State. Don't they play Florida State?
Oh yeah, Florida
That's
State.
right. 4
next
losses.
week.
Gonna happen.
And that's what I meant. No, you think they're gonna lose to Notre Dame and Florida State? Who's the other?
Hold on. They'll find another one. They may lose to South Carolina at the end of the year. That is not a gimme game anymore.
No, it's not. But I don't think
Klubnik just has to play better. If he plays better,
Miami. That's the other one.
Oh yeah, that's a good. They may have. Where are they playing Miami?
At Miami. 4 losses.
You might be right.
Told you at the beginning of the season. 4 losses.
You might be
it's gonna
right.
happen.
Well, I hope
Notre
you're right
Dame
on one. For sure.
Huh?
I hope you're right on one for sure.
I am right. You can make it.
I'm sorry for another one.
Now the defense, the frustrating part about it, Charlie and Kendrick, is that the defense is actually very good. The Clemson defense is the equivalent of the Jets defense for college football. They're going to be good all season long. The problem is they're going to be on the field 45 minutes of most games.
Yeah, but early on the defense is always further along than the offense. So I think Klubnik can get it together. I think they'll be fine by the end of the season.
I agree. 4 losses though.
I think they'll beat.
We need them to get it right after they play Florida State.
Right. Which, by the way, is
next week, isn't it? Or is it 2 weeks?
Next week?
Is it
next week?
Yeah, they won't have it together by then.
We hope not.
Lost number 2. And then we can stop talking about them as a national championship anything.
I think that conversation's already ended.
Get that out of the way. We say it every year, but we may need to start
believing.
They look better.
They do look better.
I thought they were going to lose this game for sure.
But
the way it was trending, it looked like they were going to lose it.
Well, I don't trust Jimbo.
Or
in a big game. In a big game,
right?
And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that Miami won. I'm surprised they won by 2 touchdowns, but
yeah,
I wasn't surprised that they won. Yeah, I think we can say it. Miami is back-ish.
Back-ish, yeah.
Yes, yeah. They're coming down the highway.
They're back adjacent. I will tell you this about Miami. I'm starting to believe in Tyler Van Dyke. I think he has legitimately played himself into at least he gets to stand outside the Heisman room. I ain't saying he's a contender yet, but he might be. He's putting up numbers, 374 and 5 touchdowns. That's a good day.
Yeah.
It's a good day for anybody.
Yeah, but I that Heisman list is very long.
It is. There's a lot of legit Heisman contenders right now, but
right.
I think you got to at least consider him. Now, the problem with that is I think Texas A&M is trending in the wrong direction, so that loss as the season goes on ain't going to look as good as it does now.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't think Texas A&M can bounce back from this?
No.
Their quarterback is playing well.
Connor Weigman, well, I don't know. Is he 31 or 56? That's a lot of
attempts.
Right.
I mean, that means that they were behind.
Yeah.
Or that's what they do, but it sounds like they were behind with that many pass attempts.
But I think they're going to be behind like that all season.
But the defense should have been good. I mean, they've had some good recruiting classes.
They've had great recruiting classes.
Listen,
all across the board.
Yeah, I was gonna say on paper they should be much better than this.
Right.
But again, you don't win on paper, so
they are 1-1.
Right. Listen, a lot of this could be overreaction, Charlie. Could be.
I'm just saying, like we sit here like throwing dirt on them. After 2 games or after a bad loss or what they would consider a bad loss on the road to a good team. And so they could, like I said, they have promise. They just got to get some things shored up, as Coach Fisher has said. All three phases. We just got to clean some things up, and it was just interesting because
That's the line always, isn't it?
Yeah,
on
he's
sports, yeah, that's what his three lines. His main line was, we got to clean up the three phases of the game, and he said it like multiple times on different interviews. It was very interesting.
Are you one of those Florida State fans that harbors anger and bitterness towards him? So when his misery at Texas A&M is your pleasure?
No, I don't harbor in anyone's misery.
I appreciate that, Charlie. I said that specifically for the Florida State fans that watch this show, trying to get them to, you don't have to do that. Your team is really good, and you don't have to take pleasure in somebody else's misery.
And apparently he did them a favor.
Right. You got a good coach, good system.
Yes, he did.
Well. Yeah, so there you go. All right, we got a few more. Syracuse and Western Michigan. Shout out to Syracuse, who's just putting on week after week, just putting on an exhibition of talent and just doing the thing. I mean, they're just okay. They're doing it to me again. Is what's happening. That's really where I'm going. Like they're sucking me in again. Like, oh, it'll be good
again.
A little bit, just a little bit, but I'm not falling for it. I'm not gonna fall for it.
That's what you say now. Famous last words.
I know it.
And then they're gonna have another big game come up, and you're gonna pick it.
Nope, I'm not falling for it. Another game where, but we knew this one though. Now, unlike the other ones, we knew this was gonna happen.
Right.
Because I don't know what it is about App State and North Carolina, but App State, that's their bowl game every year in North Carolina. And, man, they bring the house to beat North Carolina. And once again, they almost pulled it off.
Yeah, I mean, that's scary. I do worry about Carolina's defense, though.
Well,
these first two games.
Hasn't that been the story, though, since Mac Brown's been there? Like, their offense has been really good, but the defense just can't stop anybody. Like last year, that's all we said. They can't stop anybody. But they'll put up 40, but they can't stop anybody. And here we go again. So it'll be hard to win a national championship without defense.
So I'm sitting here looking at the quarterback passing yards for the season. Drake May is ninth on that list.
Drake is doing all right
with 477 yards.
Should he be higher? Should that be higher?
You would think.
Yeah.
I mean,
he came in as a legitimate Heisman candidate.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's him or the defense or what it may be, but they're finding ways to win games. But you would expect him to, bring his team higher.
Well, listen, not having Tez Walker is a massive deal. The kid's good. And not having him on the field is a big deal. And which is why the Board of Regents is trying to come up with a way to get him back on the field. That's why they're meeting and having discussions about possibly, I don't know. They didn't call it suing, but they did call it taking a legal course of action is how I think it was phrased to try and get him back on the field. And reverse the NCAA's decision.
I'm just curious. Tez lost his deal, and one of our guys, Daryl Jackson, I think he's in a similar boat where he's not getting an opportunity to play this year, and he moved, twice or whatever. But there has to be more players that's moved twice that's playing.
Right, there are
somewhere.
I mean, we'll Storm Duck at Louisville. I mean, he's been two other places before he got to Louisville.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what the reasoning is as to why they're coming down on this kid. Because he's not the first by any stretch of the imagination. Hadn't Shiloh played for 3 teams?
Well, he graduated.
Yeah, but still though, I mean,
Yeah,
once you graduate, you can go
You
wherever
can go where you want. You can go to a third team though.
yeah.
Yes,
Wow,
because
I
that's the
think
original.
this
Yeah,
is
that's
a
the original.
fascinating place.
Yeah, I think that is the deal with Storm Duck. I think he has graduated.
I don't know. I just think this. If you're gonna have a transfer portal that allows kids to move around, then let's just move on. Why are we making this kid? Why are we making things hard for this kid?
Because the
I just don't
NCAA is
understand the
there's no
logic.
rhyme or reason to anything they do.
Yeah, I just don't
They
understand
just
the
do
logic.
stuff. Throw
I've been hearing a
logic out
lot
the
of people
window.
say Duke is for real. I don't know about for real, but they are good.
They're looking for real-ish.
Huh?
They're looking for real-ish.
They're looking real-ish, real adjacent. So yeah, I'm not prepared to say that they're for real yet, but it's interesting because it looks like the top teams in the conference are Florida State, Duke, North Carolina, Miami, Louisville, and not really sure that's what we were saying prior to the start of the season. Florida State, we were saying that.
We were saying that's Florida State. We only team on the list we weren't saying it about was Duke. We were surprised by Duke.
Well, I think Louisville too because we didn't know what to expect. We were like,
yeah, but we knew they'd be up
good,
there because of their schedule. Now their schedule's gotten a lot more difficult as the season's going on. Looking at Duke and Miami. And
now those games look massive. Yeah, those games look massive now. So, we knew Pitt was going to let us down. We knew it. And yet, still, we got to start trusting our first mind, gentlemen. We knew this was going to happen.
Who chose Pitt?
I think we all chose Pitt, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back and look, but I'm pretty sure we all chose Pitt.
Yeah, go back and look.
I'm thinking Charlie didn't pick Pitt.
Charlie, did you pick Cincinnati?
I want to say I think I did.
Charlie, if you picked Cincinnati, then I'm gonna start following you on all your picks.
No, because there was a couple of games where I went opposite of you guys, or at least one. I know. I can't remember which one.
No, you actually had a good week this week.
But I'm hoping it's this game.
I gotta find the sheet. I thought I had it. And then, well, I'll let you guys know in a minute. But
who's the Pitt quarterback?
Huh?
Who's the Pitt quarterback?
Who is the
Urich?
Phil Urich
from
Boston.
Yurkovich from Boston College.
Kendrick and I picked Pitt. Yeah, we just got second. I don't know what we were thinking.
Do y'all trust him?
No, and I don't know why I don't know why we did this.
Because I didn't trust Satterfield on the road.
We don't trust. You know what, Kendrick? We got what we deserve,
baby.
Right,
Emory Jones. You better trust Emory Jones.
we got what we deserved on that pick. We really did because we know better. We've seen Phil Yurkovich for 3 years. We got what we deserved on that one. All right.
You're right.
And then the last game, of course, the best team in the conference, Florida State, just demolished poor Southern Miss. But we thank Southern Miss for their contribution to the game and giving Jordan, more hype towards his Heisman candidacy.
They didn't play bad.
One of those stat games, Charlie.
It was definitely a good stat game. Numbers there. So this is where we are. Once again, Kendrick was saved by his Texas pick. That pick 1 is saving you this year already. It's already doing the thing that you need to do.
I went out on a limb on that one.
Yes, you did. And remember, it was a last-minute pick.
Yep.
So that saves you. That actually saves you. And then, of course, we got our Colorado pick right. So that gives us a 26, 19-7. It's a very competitive start to
Usually the person in third place is third on the
screen. What? What was that?
He said the first should be last. That's his motto.
I'll be just fine, Kendrick.
I kind of think that's a humble flex.
I'll be just fine. You know what? The one thing I should have, the Jurkovic thing, the Pitt thing, that was stupid. I knew better. And I actually did pick Holy Cross. I was almost right. I was almost right on that one. So, you know, it's a risk reward thing, you know. So anyway. But the games we didn't pick, Ole Miss and Tulane, Ole Miss dominated that. Colorado,
big second half.
Huge second half. I mean, they looked phenomenal in that second half.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I thought Texas just actually, I don't think this game was that close. Like, I know the score looks 34-24, but I didn't think the game was that close. Texas kind of dominated it.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama's so young at quarterback, and they're so young around the field for them.
Yeah.
And like I said, Texas had them beat last year if he didn't get hurt. And so I wasn't surprised they went there and won.
This is where the transfer portal helps you the most. Because, like you said, normally the defenses are ahead of the offenses at the beginning of the year, except when you're using transfer kids. Because those kids have already played. So the opening of a season is demystified to them. They're not as overwhelmed by anything. Mm-hmm. So if you have a young team, they haven't quite figured out how to win yet. So this is where the transfer portal is huge. Okay, so we're in week 3. We're ready to make our selections. We're coming out the gate, Bethune-Cookman and Miami. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman for giving the sacrifice, making a sacrifice for the greater good.
Coach Woody.
Coach Woody said, "We need this money for other things, for the MEAC."
Right. No, we need this money to help upgrade some of our facilities.
So, guys, just go out there and do the best you can, and we'll see you on practice Monday.
So we can get us a tractor to mow the grass.
They need a tractor.
I don't know.
Sure, there's a dealership around there somewhere that can give them a tractor.
According to Ed Reed, they need a lot of things.
Oh, that's right. Poor Ed. Okay. Virginia and Maryland. What are we doing there? I assume we were all going Miami for that. Virginia and Maryland.
I'll go with Maryland.
Yeah, I don't think this is the week. Oh, I feel so bad for Virginia. I feel bad picking against Virginia every week, but I don't. They're in a tailspin right now. Real quick, you can't fire this coach because of this, right? Doesn't he get a pass this year?
He should.
Like a complete pass?
They won't fire him.
I hope
I don't think they'll fire him.
Because it could go bad the rest of the year, but you gotta let him, you know.
I think you get through this year, and
then you can start talking about it.
You're talking about next year. You do some evaluation, but this year you gotta.
Yeah. A stat game for Florida State on the road.
Clean sweep.
Should be Florida State. Be a nice stat game for Florida State this week.
Another game for them to fly under the radar.
Oh, okay.
You just need to stay the course.
Just hovering around that humble flex button, boy. Louisville at Indiana. This is interesting because it's technically at a neutral site, but not really, because that neutral site is in Indiana. So
they're playing Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Indiana's been competitive.
Their defense is really good. They went ahead and named Trace Jackson Davis, his little brother, as the starting quarterback.
Okay.
And he can move. He's agile, fast. But Indiana's front seven has been really, really good against Ohio State and against Indiana State. So
they gave Ohio State all they could stand in that first game.
They just couldn't score.
Couldn't score.
And so, I think Louisville's going to win. I think the spread is like 10, and I'm like, they're not going to cover that. Yeah. I'm like, no, they're not going to cover 10 points.
So can we call this game based on the spread or outright?
Just outright.
I would say Louisville wins outright.
Yeah.
But
they won't
But
cover.
I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than people probably think that it's going to be. Louisville needs these games, though, because it like you said, Kendrick, their schedule just got much harder than they probably thought it was going to be, because Duke looks for real, and you know
Miami
looks for real. So,
and of course they have Notre Dame,
and then they got Notre Dame. So those now all of a sudden those games look like they're going to be a dogfight. So they need as many fights as they can get into before they get into the heart of the schedule. So
I mean, who'd have thought that? I mean, it's very possible that U of L Duke game would be a primetime game.
if they can both get to an undefeated place, I mean, you might be looking possibly at a college game day game. I mean, you never know, which is weird to say, but you know, Wake Forest, Old Dominion. I gotta be honest with you. I'm leaning toward Old Dominion. Old Dominion is way better than I thought they were.
Yeah, they're playing at home too.
And they're playing at home.
I'm gonna go with Old Dominion. I just think that they're one of those teams that you got one game they played somebody tough.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. Now,
yeah.
We're going to find out a lot about Virginia Tech this weekend. Because if Old Dominion loses to Wake Forest, then we're like, oh, okay, Virginia Tech is just really, really bad.
And you know what? I think I'm going to go with Wake Forest.
You going with Wake Forest?
I'm going to go with Wake Forest.
All right.
I got Old Dominion.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an upset or not, but I'm going to Old Dominion.
I think I'm going with you, Charlie. I think I'm going to Old Dominion at home. Let's see what happens here. Initially, I figured this was an easy game to pick, VMI and NC State. I don't think NC State's very good.
But they should be
now
VMI.
Huh?
Should be beat Virginia Military Institute.
Right.
You would think so.
Go ahead and pick it. Go ahead and pick it, Lloyd. Go ahead, Lloyd. Go ahead, Lloyd. I can see those wheels churning.
NC State scares me, bro.
They scare me, but not that much. At home against VMI.
Well, I thought Pitt at home would win.
But that was
look how that turned out.
Yeah, that's Cincinnati, though. Go ahead.
What are y'all doing?
We already know what we're doing. Do it.
Okay.
I'm going with NC State.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it.
I guess I'll join just because I don't want to. If we lose, we lose together.
Do it, Lloyd.
Oh,
No,
what kind of
I'm not gonna risk it there.
What kind of
I'm not gonna put all my
doing?
stock in VMI. I'm not doing that. Minnesota and North Carolina. Is this a trap game for Minnesota for North Carolina?
Yeah, because Minnesota's got a good defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Oh,
wow. They've been playing very good. They weren't able to score very many points in the Nebraska game.
Yeah, I actually like that
first game, but I think they're well coached and they'll be sound and play good football.
Yeah,
North Carolina, I don't know. They're iffy.
My only concern is Minnesota can't score.
That's my concern.
Yeah, they don't score a lot of points. They play good defense, but they don't score a lot of points. And I mean
they're Big Ten. You can say that about just about every team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna have to score to beat North Carolina. That's my only concern. So I think I'm gonna take North Carolina.
I think I'm with you.
This might be the weekend where Minnesota's offense explodes because North Carolina can't stop.
North Carolina's defense ain't no good either. So,
Right.
but I think it's good enough for them to win that game. I think Carolina wins.
I agree. The academic bowl is this weekend. Northwestern. Give me the Blue Devils.
Yeah,
they keep it rolling. Yeah, they keep it rolling. Fool me once, shame on me. I'm going Rutgers.
Yeah, I'll go Rutgers. I like Rutgers quarterback too.
Yeah, Rutgers is not bad.
Yeah, Rutgers. That's what I'm saying. Rutgers is playing some good football, so I won't get fooled again. That's true.
On the road.
Oh, poor old Georgia Tech. Just when they got it rolling, they were doing great, and here comes Ole Miss.
I think they'll have a good showing. I think Ole Miss is going to win, but I think Georgia Tech will have a good showing in that game.
Well, that's what they were looking for, Kendrick. A good showing.
Yeah. Let me check.
So last year, you guys told me, hey, man, as long as Syracuse is at home, they're going to win. But on the road, not so much. I didn't listen last year. I'm listening this year. Purdue wins.
You are? Because you sounding like you were starting to.
No. I just said fool me once.
So you going Purdue?
I'm going Purdue. I'm not going to let Dino get me again. He won't get me again this year.
Purdue, shocked me last week.
Charlie, you are not talking me into this.
I wasn't expecting them to win, or even, especially from the first week where they were competitive, I think. But it was they didn't look the part, and they were on the road.
Charlie, you're not talking me into this.
I'm not sure. And Syracuse has been playing, good football against, teams that they should play good football against. But they're on the road. But we got to trust Schrader, though. We don't trust Schrader?
Charlie, you're not talking me into this. You're not talking me into this. I have gone down this road with Dino 2 years in a row, and he's let me down 2 years in a row. I'm going Purdue.
I'm going Purdue.
Think of this as the Sam Howell effect. I'm going Purdue. Are you going? Right. Are you going Syracuse?
I think I'm gonna go Syracuse.
Okay. Now this will be the week he wins.
Right. I'm sticking with Purdue.
I need Schrader to play well.
Schrader has been playing well. He's been playing well.
And Gaskin, they need to show up.
They have been. I just don't think they're gonna do it this week. The backyard brawl is on. Pitt and West Virginia. Once again, fool me once. Fool me twice.
West Virginia.
Never fooled again.
I think that's a sweep right there.
Yeah, Yeah. Shout out to Phil. Clemson gets another warm-up game to work out the kinks against Florida Atlantic and Clemson at home and make the fan base believe, hey, we're not as bad as we think we are.
That fan base is not going to get excited after a Florida Atlantic win.
I would hope not.
They're a knowledgeable fan base.
Unless it's impressive,
right?
Where they're very dominant.
What would be impressive coming out of that game? Klubnik being efficient.
Yes. And showing that he can handle pressure.
Okay.
Because currently, when he gets pressure in his face, his feet start moving.
He does not look
really fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's that's a sign of not being poised. And it's in his youth. I mean, we've all been there. When you start seeing pressure, the first thing you start doing is either looking down or start moving your feet really, really fast to try to get out of the way.
Very much so.
But I think he'll be okay the more time he gets and film he watches after next week.
He's not going to be okay, Charlie. He plays Florida State next weekend. Jared Verse is going to make his life miserable next weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
Jared Verse is going to do his best Jadeveon Clowney next weekend. It's going to be bad. Real bad. Okay. All right. You pick one game this week. Here are your choices. TCU at Houston. Washington at Michigan State, which, by the way, whoa, what a train wreck there. And then Tennessee at Florida, which is the biggest game of the weekend, I believe. So, gentlemen, which direction are you going in for your pick one game this week?
What was the middle game?
Middle game was Washington at Michigan State. And Michigan State is in a tizzy, as they say, because of all the weirdness that's going on in that program right now.
So I'm going with the Washington Penix Jr. He's been playing well, and
playing really
Washington's been playing well, and Michigan State they're in a crossroads right now with with the coach and all the things surrounding the program. They have two ways they can go. They can either come together or split apart. And so, but Washington is a team that's well coached, and because they have playmakers. Yeah. That
I feel so bad for that team, by the way. I got a chance. We did a story on it. We talked about it Tuesday on Talking Noise. That story is just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. The choices that we make, how we don't understand the choices that we make are not just our choices, or they just don't just affect us. In certain, it's just bad. It's so bad. Even if he's innocent, which, by the way, I believe that he is. I do. If you go into the depth of the story, I believe he's innocent of what he's being accused of. Not innocent morally. It's a train wreck morally, but I don't think he did what he's being accused of. It's not the salacious nature of what it. I don't think it's that, but it doesn't matter because he's going to be fired. He's going to be fired.
Right. It's a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation he put himself in, regardless.
Right, exactly.
And so, I mean, you're supposed to be a leader of men, and you got to be with these young kids. I mean, you're their, a father figure to a lot of them. You got to, But anyway, as far as the game goes, it scares me to go on that game because, like Charlie said, it could go one or two ways, and this could be one of those things where it rallies the troops too.
Good.
To a big upset, especially it being at home. So I'm staying away from that game.
Okay. So you got TCU in Houston and Tennessee in Florida.
I'm going to go with, not confidently, but I'm going with Tennessee to win at Florida.
Tennessee to go into the swamp.
And the swamp ain't the swamp what it used to be.
That's true. That is very true.
So you're very confident in how Joe Milton is playing right now?
No, I am not. I'm not confident in this pick.
He said, I am not confident in that at all. However,
I'm not confident in the goings on in Gainesville either. So.
You're even less confident in that. So I'm gonna shake it up a little bit and break up the selections, because normally I've been picking with Charlie or picking with Kendrick. I'm actually going to go TCU. I think TCU learned a valuable lesson against Colorado, and I think they go on the road and take care of business against Houston. So
Houston's been struggling.
Houston, and this is all right. I think they're catching them at the right time. So I think they go on the road, take care of business. All right. Colorado State, past the cord. Listen, Colorado, if they keep doing what they're doing, and I don't just mean the way they're playing, I mean the way they are doing everything, the marketing, the promotion, the fact that they got college sports by the neck right now. It's always going to be every game they play this year is going to be a game to watch. It's not going to matter who the opponent is. So they're just doing it. They're doing something right there, man. But yeah, it's going to be a fun game. They got the night game, the 9 o'clock game, or 10 o'clock game, whatever time it is. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but it should be interesting. So, all right, those are our picks, people. When we last left here, the great Coco Gauff was in the semifinals, and by the time Saturday night came, she was a champion. And I got to tell you, I got a chance to watch her in that final match. I don't know if you guys saw it, but man, she was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
She was impressive. Sabalenka is a huge hitter with a lot of power, and Coco Gauff made her look small, and that's not an easy task. That girl's won the French Open, and she's a massive hitter.
From the moment that Coco told her box to chill out in the quarterfinals,
yeah, she's brilliant.
She's been dominant.
Yeah, she was brilliant. She was absolutely brilliant. So that's my collective believe in the ACC shout out. So you guys got any shout outs before we go? We got about 2-3 minutes here.
I'll give a quick shout out to the University of Louisville volleyball. Had over 12,000 show up at the KFC Yum Center yesterday as they swept Kentucky, and they swept Penn State on Sunday, and so
which was impressive.
It was impressive. So they've got
very impressive. Yeah,
got Stanford coming to the Yum Center on Sunday. That should be a top 5 matchup. If Stanford takes care of business against Nebraska, I think they play Nebraska tonight. And so, and shout out to ESPN for putting these games on ESPN. That little U of L UK game was on ESPN last night, and then the Stanford game will be on ESPN2 on Sunday. So shout out to them for showing them and putting the women on the main stick and getting them some more public pub.
Volleyball is picking up a lot of momentum right now. It's really, really, and it's entertaining to watch.
It is very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's very entertaining to watch. Charlie, you shouting out anybody this weekend?
Yes, of course, my Lady Seminoles soccer team. They played the Gators on Sunday. They got the win 1-0. So of course that was a great win. Anytime you can beat the Gators in anything is always great. So just shout out to them for they're off to a great start.
Awesome. I want to give a quick shout out to my Texas Rangers. That's selfish, but I know. But I'm proud of them because they got destroyed last week by the Astros and still bounced back, and they're still only a game out. I'm very impressed by that. The fact that they were able to turn that around, even though we lost Scherzer, so now it's not great going into the playoffs. Right?
Yeah, losing Scherzer is not a good.
That's
thing.
not good. But still they're competing, and I like that. And then my final thing for us as we close out today, we want to send love and condolences to Aaron Rodgers. Listen, man, that's a tough way to go.
It's tough.
That's tough. 4 plays in, and
the most Jets thing ever.
Yeah, the only good part about this is that I don't have to listen to Mike Greenberg for the rest of the season.
Yeah, you will.
Well, but not Aaron Rodgers. It'll be just like, what are we gonna do? That's a little more tolerable of a message. So, but anyway, we just went. Hopefully that guy can heal and get better, and hopefully that's not the last time we see him on the football field. Although, 40-year-old quarterback coming back from Achilles.
Right. I think he makes the effort, but I don't know. I think that may be it.
It may be it. It may be it. Anyway, listen, we appreciate you guys. As always, it's going to be another fun week of college football. Football period. It's going to be a fun weekend of sports period. But that's the host of Hall of Fame banquets all over the world, Kendrick Haskins. That is the great Charlie Ward right there. I'm Lloyd Spence. We'll see you guys next time. You've been listening to Believe in the ACC with Charlie Ward, Lloyd Spence, and Kendrick Haskins. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share from the Noisemakers page on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and wherever podcasts can be heard. And join us